Honorable service of the many should have been praised. You came home and sometimes were denigrated when you should have been celebrated. You've got to get the job done there. And that requires us to have enough troops that we're not just air raiding villages and killing civilians, which is causing enormous problems there.
Absolutely, and I think it helps to explain the huge gap between the Republicans, whether it's a Romney or a McCain, in getting support from veterans. It isn't only demographics, it's history. And the fact is that in the Vietnam era, the Democrats were the anti-war party, and we heard Obama today essentially doing penance for a country that spat on soldiers who returned from the Vietnam War. And what he didn't say is that in large part that was the work of the American left. It wasn't the work of the American right who supported the war. And Democrats were the anti-war element in the country, the anti-war party, particularly in 1972. And they inherited the stain of this association with the left that really denigrated soldiers, which is a word Obama used, and he said it should never happen again. So in some ways, he's trying to undo this legacy of 50 years. But that's why, for the 50 years, Democrats were always seen as the weak and anti-war party, weak on national defense. But it isn't only that. It isn't only history. It continues. Democrats have for decades used the defense budget as a piggy bank for social spending. And we see it today, the sequester of $500 billion, which is going to happen, which the Secretary of Defense under Obama said would hollow out the military and be a catastrophe. Republicans are opposing it and trying to get out of it. And what are Democrats doing it? Leaving it in place, using it as a stake and a blackmail weapon against the Republicans in return for trying to get increase in social spending or an increase in taxes. So who stands up for the weaponry and the training and the protection that soldiers are going to have? It's the Republicans. So it isn't only history or demographics, it's actually the standing of the parties on policy.